I was in the, my
Yeah. What'd you get it at?
non-affiliated, but
What'd you get it at?
minus 170.
Nice. I got 175, but I'll take that.
Yeah, I was gonna hit 3.5, and I was just like, no.
It's funny. I thought about going with the spread too. The minus 110. You're like,
No, don't mess around. Just take your value. Up to 7.
yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Odds Shop. Hey, open the doors, step inside, take a seat. Let's shop some odds. Very glad Ben Rasa came up with that. I'm happy to have you guys with us as always. Very fun show ahead of us today. We're going to be shopping all the best bets for all the sports, anything out there. Doesn't matter what it is, but more than anything, got a little sneak preview for your guys today. I ran it through the guys behind the scenes. I was like, how do you guys feel about me sneak previewing these new features? Because I'm very excited about them. I've been using them the past couple of days. What a massive difference they are going to make on OddsShopper. And this is not like some type of, let me just go through and tell you how great they are all show. No, I think they're going to help us immensely every single day and just make our process way easier, not just on the show, but for any of you guys that are using it or looking to take advantage of the first free week. I think you'll be pretty stoked about this. So anyway, I'm Dave Loughran at Lafayette_D, Ben Rasa at JazzRazDFS, joining me as always. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, man, this is a good day. This is a real good day. This is going to be a good show. It feels kind of cool. Like we're exclusively unveiling some stuff here. You guys are going to get a sneak peek at, no one has ever seen this stuff. We're really excited about it. And we're in a meeting. I get people, I'm in a meeting with Lofty no more than 45 minutes ago?
Less than that. Yeah.
And you hit me with the Kawhi Leonard news. I don't know if I've just been doing other stuff. Was that even a remote possibility?
No, like apparently he heard it in game 1, played through it in game 2, and now he's out for game 3 and his day to day. So no, I mean, that wasn't, no, because if this was the case, like number one, books would have at least been quicker to pull it.
Good point.
Greg got it on DraftKings, which never happens. Like DraftKings is super quick on the trigger when big news breaks, even small news.
We were all able, like yep. I got in, you got in. Now, of course, the Clippers are going to win by 35 tonight, but
I know but it's still objectively a good bet, and that's all you can do.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. The line is. Have you seen the line?
What's the money line at now?
So they're sitting at, it's up to 7 for the spread at most places. The money line's up to 285.
Wow! So you're just stealing massive value.
Oh my God! You shouldn't do this, but if you wanted to, you can bet the Clippers at plus 240 if you want, and just take free money if you want it. But I would advise not doing that.
I tried the middle Portis points yesterday, under 17.5 and over 15.5.
How'd
Didn't
that
work,
go?
which is fine. But they were both around like even money too. And I went for it, Ben. I went for it. It felt like I got a little bit. I mean, obviously that's a small window for sure. But it was just one of those instances where I was like, oh, man, this might be one where I could clear it.
Does that tilt you, though?
What?
I get tilted when I do that.
No.
Particularly if my first bet, if it's like, oh, I have over 15.5. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm in the middle of this with 17.5. And then he scores 35 points. And I'm like, I had it. Why am I messing around?
Yeah, I know. That's the problem, because my first bet was the under 17.5. It didn't tilt me though, because I wasn't paying additional juice on one of the sides. It was basically just canceled out. And I had a great night betting. OddsShopper killed MLB yesterday. I had a great
I even
MLB
had a good
day.
night.
What's that?
Yeah, even I had a good night last night. Oof.
Yeah. So it was, what? I made a mistake though, because I had a bunch of, I go on OddsShopper. I'm like, all right, dude. And I already liked Edwards over on points, over 23.5 points. Jokic over 21.5 points. I had Aaron Gordon over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I had a ton on this game. And I'm like, I'll go to sleep at halftime, or, I'll go to sleep after the third. I'll go to, and then I was like, I'll go to sleep after they all hit, because I was looking good. Took Aaron Gordon close to the end. He got there, and I still had to finish the game. But then it's 12:30, And now I can't sleep because my adrenaline's pumping from everything that I had on this game. I didn't fall asleep till 2, man. Today has been an absolute drag.
You got to tape that shit. I had big positions.
You got
You know,
what?
you got to tape it.
What do you
Record
mean?
it. Like I watched the Oilers and the Nuggets in the morning.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Wait. No.
What's wrong with that? I do that all the time.
Do you record games and then watch them without knowing the outcome?
Yeah, of course.
Without
Why?
knowing the outcome of your bets?
What? I know my bets. I mean, what do you mean?
No, without knowing the outcome.
Of course.
You are insane.
Why would I watch it if I know the result?
That you record games and then wake up in the morning, have no idea what the result of your bet is, and you watch the game to see if your bets hit?
Yeah, like what do you mean?
Dude, that's psychopath shit.
What?
Oh my God.
People watch the game. Why is it different if you watch it in the morning?
Oh my God. If you're telling me that you can watch a game where the outcome has already been decided for like 12 hours.
Yeah, what do I care?
Wow. Yo, that is wild.
It's first of all, it's absolutely needed for me because I bet a lot of different sports. So I can watch, like, you can fast forward. I'm watching games all over the place. Like I watched the second and third period of the Oilers and the second half of the Nuggets game before I woke up and recorded my VOD this morning.
There is a difference. Everyone agrees with me in chat, by the way. They're just saying you are nuts. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is mad person behavior. This is something that'll put you in the nut hut. I mean, dude, think about that. Okay, there's one thing. If I know the result, like if I know the game's over, there's no way I can make it through a whole game without just being like, fuck it. I'm checking the score. I'm checking my bets. I need to see if they won.
Depends what kind of sweat I want. I do that some. It depends what kind of sweat. Sometimes I'll do the slow squeeze with the box score and I'll add up how much the field goals and how many threes, and I do it like that. But other times I'll just watch it. What do I care?
Okay, so here's my issue with it. And I want to we're going to sneak preview right after this. Very excited. There are two brand new features.
I got to hear.
There are 2 brand new features that are going to change it all up and just make it like the most streamlined approach you've ever had betting. I actually mean that. That's not even exaggeration. Here's the thing. I would be so livid if I sit through an entire game. Okay, even being able to fast forward, fine, like through commercials and stuff. I sit through an entire game after it is over, just to the next day, just to find out that my bet lost.
But it's the same amount of time. It's less time for me because I'm sleeping for the second half of the game.
Yeah, but if I fall asleep during the second half of the game, I'll just wake up and check to see if my bet won or lost.
No, I want to see it.
Oof, man.
Now I will say last thing, and then we can get to important stuff, including we'll talk about the Phillies. No problem. We got you, Philip. I have to change the channel because I sleep with the TV on. If I don't, I wake up and I know subliminally what happened, even though I didn't see it.
It's funny you say that.
That's a real thing.
It is a real thing. But I also have dreams that my bets win or lose. And then I wake up and it's like always the opposite. I'll have a dream that all of my bets crushed. And then I'll wake up and all of them lost. And it's a horrible feeling.
No worse feeling when you wake up and I know I left the TV on T&T and I'm just like, I'm going to watch this, but I know the team lost. Like,
so your brain was absorbing everything unconsciously.
Yeah. Like I know it. I know what's happening.
Danny V said you could be a gambler and a sports fan too. Danny, I'm a massive sports fan.
Danny knows. He's with
That's not my point. I'm a massive sport. I love sport. I was obsessed with sports before I ever gambled, before I ever played fantasy or DFS. What I mean is there's no way I have the discipline or the patience to be able to wait something like that out.
I got patience.
All right. Well, we got almost 100 people in here. I think it's time to feature some of these. Mike, are we set up to do this? We good to go? All right. So we got new features coming to OddsShopper. You guys know already your first week's free. Not going to belabor the point. Link is in the description. Link is in the chat. Mike can throw it in there again. These are coming out very soon. very soon. But I want to give you an idea of what we're about to be working with here on OddsShopper. We already have like the most powerful betting tool that's using the market against itself in order to find the best bets. And sometimes you're just going to find absolute bangers. When you're ready, Mike, let's dive into this. All right. All right. Throw it up on the screen. So a couple things here. If you're looking at this, first up, we're on Shop All Bets. Ben, we go over this every single time. One thing that we've always had, you have the odds, you have whether, you know, what the EV is on it, plus minus EV, expected win rate. We used to have the OS bet. Now, these features on the surface, you may be like, how important is this? I personally think the bet sizing, and we're going to get into another one, is huge. So it's the default right now is $1,000 bankroll, right? Now you could put in 400 and it's going to give you the recommended bet size on all of them, or you could put in $4,000 and it's going to give you the recommended bet size on all of them. I put my bankroll in each of the last couple of days. I need to do zero math, nothing. I go in there, I get the recommended bet size, and if you're comfortable with it, you can just cut that in half. And every single bet, I have a math-driven bet size that I can place on every single one of these positive XROI, positive EV bets.
So it's super, super important because one of the things when you see these results happen, like your bankroll is going to be growing or, you know, obviously depreciating, and you want to adjust it. You can come in here every day and say, oh, I'm at 1,000. Okay, I had a great night. I'm at 1,300. And it's going to show you how to adjust it in real time like that, your recommended bet size. So that is something a lot of people have asked for right on the screen. It's simple. You can play around with it. You can say, okay, if I had a $10,000 bankroll, what would the bet size look like? Okay, if I have it, it's just so many ways to do it. And like you said, zero math, zero thinking. It says, here's how much you can bet. You want to be conservative, cut it in two. You want to be aggressive, double it. You know, I mean, again, it's just all about risk tolerance.
Mike, play around with that bet size too. I was hoping you would throw them in there just to show how it's changing up there on the top right. Okay, yeah, it's huge. And another thing, this isn't anything earth-shattering, but something that I've been asking for. We had a guy on our chalkboard asking for it the other day. Now, Ben, let's say you're limited on certain books or like you just don't have an account on certain books. You can drop down the sportsbook menu and you can select the books that you want, not just one, but all of them now. So it used to just be like, let me see everything on one book. Now you can do everything for every book. So for me, it would be like DraftKings, BetMGM, FanDuel, Caesars. Now the only top bets that I'm seeing are from those four sports books. You can filter out Underdog, No House Advantage, get them out of there if you want, all PrizePicks out of there, and keep all of the ones that you're looking for.
We keep adding more books because there's a lot of opportunities out there, and that's great. But I'll be honest, I'm always irked when I'm, you know, I run to the tool. I say, oh, wow, holy shit, 12% ROI. This is amazing. Up on a book that I don't have. Well, what good is that? Now I got to search. Where is it under? Nope. Here, I just pick the books that I know no matter what. I've got my accounts funded and ready to go. Every single bet that appears now, I can bet seamlessly. I don't have to filter anything out. I know the bankroll thing is cool, Luffy. I'll be honest. I'm more excited for this part of it. I think this is just such a time saver when you can select only the books that you want to see for a given night.
You know what I did today? I sorted by my sports books and I went down the list of all of them and just placed all of those bets.
Yeah, there's no, you cut out all that middle ground. It's just straight bets.
Yep. So I hope you guys are excited about this, especially those of you that have been using OddsShopper and liking it. The process is just going to become massively streamlined. It was already giving you all of the best bets across all the books. Now it just becomes a million times easier to find them and a million times easier to structure your bets. These are just a couple of the features that are coming, but I wanted to throw them out for you guys because we had a lot of questions on that. And personally, these were things that I was hoping were coming down the pike, and they are. So something to look forward to. They're going to be out real shortly, and I wanted to give you guys a glimpse into that. So there you have it. Now it's time to use this to find ourselves some best bets. Of course, too, you can sort by X-Win, EV, bet size, all of that. Oh, and you have the true odds now. Oh, how did I forget? You have the true odds on there as well, Ben.
Again, and that's something that it goes right to the core concept of this. What are we doing? We're trying to find the true odds and then shop it against all these books. So it's really, really exciting. Again, we're not going to belabor the point. If you want this stuff, test it out for yourself. A free week below, just click it and you're in. Let's make some money though. There's a lot of bets on the board tonight. What are you thinking? Are you nervous about your boys? Is it going to be a gentleman's sweep, or do the Nets get back in it? I want to hear your thoughts on these NBA games.
I wouldn't be shocked if the Nets steal a game because basketball's weird like that and the team can just play poorly. But it felt like last game was the opportunity for the Nets. Sixers had a horrible first half.
That was
horrible first half. But think of it this way. And there's a couple really good bets for this game. But to set the table, you're talking about a team in the Brooklyn Nets that has sold out to stop Joel Embiid. And to a large extent, they've done a good job of keeping him from getting to his spots, right? Keeping him from getting to the basket. But even last game doing that, even with James Harden having a terrible shooting night, there was still Maxey, there was still Tobias Harris. They just severely outmatched them. Brooklyn tried to go small, but you can't do that across 48 minutes against this team. And it didn't work. So I think if they do get a win, it's going to be a super low scoring game and the Philadelphia 76ers just forget how to shoot the rock. But as of now, I just think they're heavily outmatched. I mean, the Joel Embiid under 4.5 assists here is still interesting to me. That is our top our top EV bet on the slate. True odds of 190 minus 196. OddsShopper has it at minus 152. I'm sorry, FanDuel has it at minus 152. So that's a great spot. And do you want to hear where I'm going today that might make you a little bit uncomfortable, but I feel like I must tell you.
It better not, but it can't be Mo Wagner. He's not around at this time. Okay.
No, anyone in our chalkboard already knows. And by the way, chalkboard's free, links in the description. All the picks are free. I threw this out there yesterday. We got better odds on it yesterday, but the odds still aren't terrible now.
PJ Tucker?
Yeah.
I knew you would do something like that.
Which Tucker do you think I'm talking? Which Tucker prop do you think I'm talking about?
Over a half a 3.
Yep. PJ Tucker, over a half a 3, minus 140 on BetMGM.
Why do you do this to me?
I got it at minus 135 on DraftKings. I think it's minus 145 there. Yeah, Rich Burkholder got it right. He's attempted 9 threes in this series already. He's a 38.3% three-point shooter. Joel Embiid has been somebody that, like I said, they're not exactly giving him all the wiggle room that he needs to be dominating, but they're okay with that. This is not a high volume shooter by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think you're just going to see enough opportunities to where, look, if PJ Tucker gets 3 3-point attempts up, I'll be perfectly happy with that, Ben. You know what I mean? And I can live with those results. He gets 3 or 4 attempts up from beyond the arc. He's done that in back-to-back games in the same series, 4 and 5 3-point attempts. If he gets 3 or 4 3-point attempts up, I can live with the results one way or another.
Yeah, again, I mean, he did have a whopping 0 points in the last game, but the optics were nice. He took 4 threes, 5 shots total. So I get it. I mean, it's an uncomfortable one. Under 4.5 assists is uncomfortable for Embiid as well, but you just look at that line. It's moved to 3.5 everywhere else. There's only 1 4.5 left. It's at FanDuel. Yeah, you're paying some juice, but clearly the books have adjusted the number. And when they adjust the number, you kind of know the direction that they're heading. Obviously there's a ton of props on here. Did you notice there's a couple of sides on here? Little first quarter, and I think this is going to be a public side. The Warriors' first quarter spread is grading out positively.
Yeah, this has to be a public side, right?
Like yeah. It's just like Phoenix in the last game.
I can't imagine that it doesn't end up being a public side. No Draymond Green. They're going to need a lot out of Kevon Looney. The more I watch this series, the more I'm almost with you. Like I said on the strategy show today, talking DFS, that I'm willing to eat my words here in the event that the Kings go on to win it. The Warriors absolutely should win this game. They're a much superior team at home. They're still 5.5, 6-point favorites across the board for the full game. But yeah, this is going to tell the story here. Because if the Warriors lose tonight, the series is over.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Absolutely. Over. They're not coming back no one comes back from 3-0.
No way. The only thing is like, all right, Bet Rivers has it at -2 or at -108. Caesars has them as 3-point favorites. FanDuel and BetMGM have them at -2.5. Less juice on BetMGM at -115. DraftKings has the same as BetMGM as you'll typically see with these game lines. Yeah, I am fine with it. I'm fine with that one. It doesn't jump off the page to me though. I mean, if you can bet it, Bet Rivers or one of those that that pull the same lines like Sugar House or Unibet or whatever, I'm fine with it. But I'm not going to be chomping at the bit to get there on DraftKings or FanDuel or anything.
No, you got to find the right number. But if I could, and again, and chat was just asking, what do you mean with the public side? It just means basically kind of what it sounds like. The masses are probably gravitating in large numbers to a certain side. It's very popular. It's logical. Like if you watch the series, everybody thinks the same thing. The Warriors are coming home. They're going to start fast. That's a pretty popular bet, but that doesn't mean it's a bad bet. That's a big misnomer that like, oh, the public side is always wrong. That is far from the case.
Going to get into some strikeouts here in a second because we would be remiss not to talk about it. The strikeout props on OddsShopper have been absolutely crushing lately.
I had, first of all, Corey Kluber yesterday, I went under on his case and it did get there.
Yeah.
But take the guy out. He's obviously washed. He's getting lit up. He still threw over 100 pitches. I was tilting that so hard.
Is there anything more tilting than that? I had a situation like that the other day where fortunately still got there, but they I forget who it was, brought him back out at like 93 pitches. And I'm going, are you kidding me? Brought him back out for the 7th at 93 pitches. Not to say that doesn't happen. It's not unprecedented, but usually a guy getting tuned up isn't going to come back out for the 7th. He did. Fortunately, we still got there, but we'll get into some of those strikeout props because there's some great ones each and every day here. Andrew Wiggins just popped up when I refreshed this as one of the top options today. He's questionable. My assumption is he plays. They actually have a lot of questionable players today. Draymond Green is out. He's suspended, but that's not the only situation to watch because Andrew Wiggins is questionable for this game. Hopefully we'll get news shortly. Jordan Poole is questionable for this game. And then Gary Payton, who you could realistically see in the starting lineup if he plays, he is sick now, and he's questionable for this game.
Which is, again, maybe there is an element that the Warriors can't just turn the light switch on. I guess what I'm wondering, and you heard whispers of this in game 1, that, Kerr took a little, maybe taking heat is a little too strong, but the rotations when, they lost that game when Steph was off the court. And then he bumped up his minutes in game 2. Steph played 41 minutes. I'm interested if even one of those guys is out tonight. How many minutes is Steph Curry going to play in a game that they can't be messing around with?
Assuming this game's competitive, I don't see how he doesn't play around 40 minutes.
I mean, it's Steph, but that's I might blindly go over on some of his stuff. That is major, man. Like Booker and Durant, I know it's a different game. The Suns bench is non-existent. Booker and Durant are playing 45 minutes a night. It's insane. But when you talk about that type of usage, I don't know. I might look to Steph in the prop world if we think any of those guys sit.
Yeah, the only thing with Curry, it's so hard on a superstar to find lines that aren't efficient. But how about this? DraftKings, now it's a 0% XROI bet, but let's get your thoughts. If you're looking to go over on some spots, this is interesting. Steph Curry has a points, rebounds, assist prop of 43.5 on DraftKings. All right. -120 on FanDuel right now. It's 45.5 at even money. Like there's 45s out there right now.
Yeah. I mean, is that a spot that you're interested in?
I have no issues with it. Yeah.
I kind of, again, the playoffs, that's what I wanted to ask you this at the top of the show, but we got caught up with, I said a harmless comment about me watching a game in the morning and then I got attacked.
Insane comment. I needed to rail on that.
No joke, complete serious. I'm shocked that you find that even remotely like odd.
Oh, I don't find it remotely odd. I find it insane.
I really can't believe that. But I wanted to ask you, one of the things that's always tricky for me in the playoffs is the fact that you're just running it back. And you bet a team, it doesn't go the way you wanted. And then the spread's the same basically.
Yep.
And you're just like, do I trust my original read and double down? Like, do I go for it again, or do I say, okay, like I was quote unquote wrong? And I always struggle with that. Like the Oilers last night, I stuck with them. They blew game one, won game two. The Leafs tonight, same concept. And even in these NBA games, like to me, the Kings, I'm on them for the series. I'm on them plus 1.5 games. It's so complicated because it's like, what I'm seeing, I really believe that do I just keep pushing it with the Kings, or do I say, okay, it's a little different?
It's a great question. I had this conversation with Josh this morning where I was talking about like market efficiencies and inefficiencies and stuff. And it's like, yeah, the market generally is very efficient, especially for playoff basketball games. But what happens if the Kings were to go on and beat the Warriors 4-1, and then they go into the next round and beat another good opponent, even though they're underdogs in all of those games? Like, what do we take away from that?
The reality, and I think people might disagree with this, is nothing.
That's the problem. So, but then what do they go to the finals and they win the finals and they're underdogs in every game? Like, you still, yeah, I'm not saying the market isn't efficient, but at the same time, maybe there is something about this Kings team, and maybe they are better than we assumed that they were, or I assumed, or the public or the market assumed that they were.
It's very possible. Very possible. Like, there are obviously teams that are undervalued. There's also a lot of situations where it's just, again, if a team is 85% chance to win, they lose 15% of the time. The other team just wins.
But that's why I'm using it across like multiple 7-game series.
The variance obviously is decreased when you have to be like at the NCAA tournament. Perfect example. The NCAA tournament is not really an indicator. It's awesome, but it's one game. Like
one and done. Yeah.
FAU, as cool of a team as they were, like, I don't think they're one of the 4 best teams in the country. And if you do, you're crazy.
You see it in the NFL plenty too. Like, not that they're going on honestly, the Eagles in 2018 are the best example of this. They shouldn't have won the Super Bowl that year. They had Nick Foles caught lightning in a bottle. They don't need to win 7-game series. They go on and they win the Super Bowl. They were a much better team this year and they lost the Super Bowl. They had no business winning the Super Bowl in 2018.
It's always funny to me, like, and this is the truth, like, if you ran a series, you get the result, and then you run it back, the market probably doesn't change that much regardless of the result. Like, the result's not overly indicative of what the actual reality is.
Yeah. I just mean over the course of an entire playoff series with 7-game series, at some point you got to see an adjustment.
You do. And that's where, if you can find a team, maybe it is the Kings. Maybe it is that team that, like, they're just not being factored in as, I mean, I certainly think they're undervalued, obviously. We'll find out tonight. If they win tonight, I don't know how anyone can doubt them.
Me neither. Any other spots? Then I want to get into some other good stuff here.
So just looking, I'm going to give a quick refresh because I always like to do that because stuff pops up again. Yeah, the Wiggins. Let me ask you this. Would you rather, maybe the answer is both, you have 2 Andrew Wiggins options. You could go under 19.5 points, raw points, or you could go under 29.5 points, rebounds, assists. Do you have a preference?
A lot of times I do on a spot like this. With Andrew Wiggins, I'd probably lean under 19.5 points. But you know what? No, 29.5.
I'm the other way.
What's that?
Sorry, I was to say I lean more under PRA.
No. I think I'm going to change. That's what I was before. I think I might change up a little bit on this for a couple of reasons. I mean, of course, not having Dre in there, if they play smaller, Wiggins is going to have more rebounding opportunities. It's a fast-paced game. Played 39 minutes last game, but he's not someone that's going to, and I've looked these numbers up. Wiggins doesn't see a significant, if any, boost at all in assist rate with Draymond Green off the floor this year. So there's that. He's an average rebounder. Yeah, I'd probably go under 29.5 PRA. Matter of fact, I actually like under 29.5 PRA quite a bit here.
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable with that number. Yes, of course, there could be more rebounding opportunities. Under 29.5 at minus 125. Are you seeing where this line is elsewhere? It's at 27.
27.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. What?
That's a steal.
Huge steal. Like, those are valuable points, and you're not paying egregious rake at all. So, I don't get that.
I'm betting it right now.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the OS bet percentage as well.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna.
Let me lock this in while you talk, and then you can
Well, I
lock
was
in.
trying to do the same thing. I'll talk and I'll do two things at once. You've got those two. Yeah, then it gets like you've got a lot of peripheral guys: Torrey Craig, Eric Gordon, Bridges under 3.5 assists. I'm not looking really to get involved with that. I think it's fine, but those are ones again. That's just the beauty of the tool. There will be spots like that. None of them jumped off the page like this Wiggins prop did.
FanDuel just moved it to 28.5.
I still kind of like it there because
Yeah,
other books,
that's the value of the tool, though. You get in
yeah,
early on that stuff, boom. It's a beautiful thing.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right. We still have it as 6% XROI bet.
yeah, that's fine. Again, the pick'em sites have it at 27.
Wow, and it's only the under's only minus 104.
That's what I'm saying. You're talking about a pseudo coin flip there. Like that's a 51%. Like,
Yeah, all right. I'm locking it in right now.
who else here? Trey. That's yeah. Harden under 19.5 points.
See, that's one I'm actually personally staying away from today. I think this could be one of those games where Harden just lights it up from deep, especially if the Nets continue to play the Sixers or can play Embiid the same way they've been playing them. I'm really not convinced that because I know Harden shot awfully last game, but it doesn't mean that he wasn't shooting. He's still going to get up a lot of shots.
I'm not going to mess around with that either. Last guy, and then we can build some parlays. We can take it wherever. Chat if you guys got guys.
I have a promo that we're going to hit on.
Oh, we got a promo. What do you think about Kevon Looney? Over 7.5 points. Now he's got to stay out of foul trouble, but if he does, I mean, he's got to push for 30 plus, and he should just randomly fall into some boards and putbacks.
I like that bet. I think he has to play considerable minutes today. He played 32 in game 1, and that was with Draymond Green active. And now Draymond Green's out. They have to contend with Sabonis on the boards too. Like you have to contend with Sabonis, and you need defense. Tell me, if Looney's not on the floor, Josh made a good point too today. He's like, if they're smart, if Kurt's smart, he'll try and match Looney up with Sabonis. Obviously, you got to stay out of foul trouble. What are your alternative options? Like, what is your plan B without Dre if Looney's not in the game? Like, what's it going to be? JaMychal Green?
Kuminga.
Yeah, but I'm saying Kuminga is going to get battered in a spot.
Yes, yes, he will.
All of these guys will.
It's a big problem.
Kuminga and Looney weren't even really pieces of the rotation last game. Or not Looney, Kuminga and JaMychal Green.
And they won't unless he's had 5 fouls in both of these games. So this is working with some foul trouble. They're going to have to roll the dice even if he's in foul trouble.
I agree. All right.
I like that.
What's up?
Just to highlight, I know we went through a lot of bets. My favorite bets that we've talked about, the over on Kevon Looney's points. I really like that. The under on Andrew Wiggins, points, rebounds, assists, over on FanDuel. And I do like the Joel Embiid under 4.5 assists. If you can find that line, I'm comfortable with that.
You also love PJ Tucker over a half of 3, right?
No, that's you.
Do you know how fun that's going to be? We just need one event to happen. Like, it's going to be fun because at any moment it could happen. It's going to be fun.
It's not bad.
It's also a plus EV bet. I got it at better odds yesterday, but not by much. Like, it's still a positive XROI bet. We have the true odds using the new feature on the that's about to be released very shortly. We have the true odds at minus 150. So it's not like you aren't getting value there still. It's not the best bet on the board. It was better yesterday, but it's still a plus XR. It's still a plus EV bet.
No, it's a good bet. It's just a terrible sweat. That's all.
I much prefer the over half of 3 to the under half of 3.
Yeah, even I do that. Yeah,
the under half of 3 really is miserable. And I'm not gonna lie, I've stayed away from them because I'm not really the type of person, and I know you're the same way. We enjoy betting, like we enjoy the game, we enjoy betting. So you actually like sweating your bets, right?
Oh yeah, I sweat my bets hard.
A lot of people are just machines though, and that's okay. Like I wish I was in a sense where I just like place the bets and then forget about it, but I'm not like that. And I know most of the people that watch this show aren't. It truly is a horrible sweat to sweat the under a half of 3 or even under 1.5 threes. I've been staying away. I've been steering clear of them for my own mental health. Unless, of course, there's a great bet on OddsShopper, I'll bet it, but it's not good for me.
No, it's just not a good sweat. You know what? Again, not a great sweat. Shots on goal in hockey.
Oh,
Weird sweat. The guy, they're
horrible.
blocking him. The guy can't hit the cage. It's kind of annoying.
Horrible. Yeah, that's not a good one at all. Or it rings off the post and like novice hockey bettors are like, oh, it's a shot on goal, but it's not.
It's just that's a weird sweat. But again, you can put it in different buckets. I bet some stuff for straight sweat, and then I bet other things where I'm just like, this is a miserable sweat, but it's gonna be profitable. So what do I care? I'll just not sweat it.
Yeah. Rich said Wiggins under Typico has 27.5. Again, dude, and Ben, I know you said you'd pass at 27.5.
I would.
Remember, like a lot of this is not about like, all right, I'd take, if you take it at that, the value's disappearing. Like we're trying to get it where there's objective value, where it's not up for debate, whether you like or dislike Wiggins. If one book is so far off enough from the other books, it's a good bet regardless. So yeah. Mr. Greg exactly said it'll be fun watching Tucker post up in his corner praying someone passes it to him. Dude, the moment he touches that ball, for all the 6 times in this game that he does, ooh, what a fun one that's going to be. You ready to talk about a little super boost on DraftKings?
Okay.
All right. We got a super boost. Then we're going to build out a parlay here. Got a few other things coming down the pike as well. But dude. Number one, yesterday's parlay, Eric was the only one that hit. I know Aton in the community didn't get there. We'll do that later in the show. We hit the up 10 and win early. We hit the early win on a plus 410 Hawks money line that we used OddsShopper to find the best bet, and it ended up already being a plus ROI bet. We had the plus 410 first quarter. The bet was over. The sweat was done.
And that was a perfect everything, because I was pretty adamant that I didn't want to use the Hawks, and thank God I looked at Pinnacle, because they hung, I believe it was plus 360, and DraftKings was up to like 410.
DraftKings was 410, Penny was 365, FanDuel was 390, and all other books were 375.
Forced my hand in a good way. Quite fortunate. And then the double beauty, I told you this, I hit that, and then I bet the Celtics live immediately.
That was a great bet and an easy one. Yeah,
it really was.
It was great. I wanted the Hawks to lose at that point because it's like I won my bet. Yeah. I don't want it to be a bet that would have won outright regardless.
Yeah, I want to steal it. I want the boost to matter.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, no, that was great and needed, because we'll talk about the Leafs later in the show. Don't worry, it's under control.
Also, shout out to Hutch. Oh, I'll get to that. Shout out to Hutch Boy in our chalkboard.
Okay.
We were talking about the MLB. Remember the home run prop? It was like if anyone hits a home run.
Chris Bryant.
That turned out to be a great bet anyway, because it was $25 max, but you get $5 back on every home run. You ended up putting only $10 down on a bet because 3 home runs were hit in that game,
including Chris Bryant, who chat had mentioned multiple times.
So Hutch Boy was the one that went. I forget who it was, but he had 2 home runs in the game. So
that'll play.
Yeah. Swinski, I think it was. Yeah, 2 home runs. So that was sweet. We had some fun with that one. But this super boost, I want your thoughts.
Okay.
So we got the super boost on DraftKings right now, DraftKings Sportsbook. And here's what it is. So it's the third Splash Bro ? Boosted to plus 225. Steph, Clay, and KD, 3 +3s each, boosted to plus 160. Now, the clear outlier in this spot, right? The clear hurdle is going to be KD. Like yesterday, I bet it anyway on FanDuel because the odds were good. It was, will LeBron and Jokic both have 20 plus points and 6+ assists, right? Mm-hmm. Take that anyway. DraftKings had LeBron 25 plus points at great odds. We'll hit that. The clear hurdle there wasn't LeBron 20 points, wasn't Jokic 20 points, wasn't Jokic 6 assists. It was LeBron 6 assists. And that's the leg that killed it. I definitely think here it's Kevin Durant is the leg that could kill you.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, you're getting what, 225?
Plus 225 boosted from plus 160.
I don't know about this. So my first data point, we're gonna have to break it down. Kevin Durant over 2.5 threes. So to hit his is plus 115 on his own.
Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. It's already plus money on Kevin Durant.
Clay and Steph obviously are heavy favorite to hit 3 each, but there is an opportunity cost. Obviously, every 3 that Clay hits is one Steph doesn't hit. I don't think that this is where I want to put my money.
I'm going over to FanDuel now because you can't do 3+3s on Durant over on DraftKings. You want to see what the odds are on FanDuel right now? I know it's not apples to apples, but it's going to give us a good idea.
It gives us a ballpark figure at least.
All right. So Clay and Steph are minus 1,000 to hit 3+3s each on FanDuel.
But you have to keep in mind you can't short that, correct?
No, right.
So they can put it whatever they want.
It's a one-way, yeah.
Obviously, those are terrible bets.
They're horrible bets. Yeah. You would never bet that. But we're doing this anyway. Okay.
Yes.
And both of their odds to hit 5, so over 4.5, are minus 132 and minus 128. If we were to pull up KD to hit 3 threes, and that should just be the standard prop anyway, but sometimes they change it when you go to 3+, which is weird. KD is coming in at, let's see here, 3+3s on Kevin Durant is plus 120 on FanDuel. That though gets you to plus 171. Yeah. So like, yeah, it's a fine bet, but it's not a crazy good value bet. It's good, but it's not insane.
Yeah. And that's assuming that Clay and Steph are minus 1,000 to get theirs, and they are not. I think it's probably about in line. I don't see it as a super boost.
Right. With them being minus 1,000, like if the true odds on that are really minus 500,
yeah,
then this ends up being actually a bad bet.
So I'll do that right now. Just give me 1 sec. All right, let's take a look. So we're gonna go double minus 500 and a plus 120. You said?
Yeah.
So if you do that and you calculate it, you're at 217.
So basic, yeah. And of course, kind of arbitrary, I say minus 500, but I think we both agree minus 1,000 is nuts on that.
Yeah. So again, you're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Close. I just don't. I'm not overly invested in that.
Okay. And Chad, if you have any other promos that you want to hit on that you saw elsewhere, throw them out there. We'll be happy to hit on those for sure. The community poll right now, Philly at 39% minus 4.5. I get that. Kings 26% plus 6.5. Hit the poll if you haven't done so yet. Suns 25% at minus 7, and Leafs puck line -1 or puck line plus 160 at 11%. People aren't feeling your Leafs today, Ben.
Who amongst you voted for that? Those are the real ride or dies. Got to be mental. We don't need to go down a whole.
Yeah, they'll watch the game tomorrow.
I mean, that one. I can't watch that in the morning because then I won't be able to work if it doesn't go well.
That's what I mean. Wouldn't you rather just wake up and figure it out instead of going 3 hours and we'll say like an hour and a half outside of intermission and commercials and find out you lost on in the last minute of the game?
Yeah,
like
that's
in overtime.
That is a problem.
Yeah, you'll be miserable.
Yeah, that's right. They have to win this game. Now they might just have a mental block because the shit that went on in game 1 was some of the most boneheaded, dumb decision making I've ever seen by a team. The penalties, the 5-minute major, they got a guy suspended for 3 games. You just can't do that. But
Silent Rain said Suns. Leonard is banged up. Throw it in the poll. It's up there at the top. But mind you, with Leonard out, this line has now adjusted. Like
yeah, it's got Leonard out.
What's that?
The line has Kawhi Leonard out.
Right. When it was 3.5, it didn't. When the money line was minus 175, it didn't. It's up to minus 295 now, Ben.
I've seen this story before many a times. Oh my God. This is going to talk about a disgusting sweat. Like, you've secured a massive closing line value.
So did you go overweight on this because you got that good value?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you have a spot where you know it's not up for debate, that it's 100%, it's not debatable if this is a good bet or not. It just is. That's full stop. Like, you want to get down within reason as much money as you can in those spots.
Well, hold on. Let's go into this. This might be really helpful for people. How much would you bet on that if you get into a situation where a book doesn't pull it, a superstar is out, a significant spot, which we actually got the opportunity to do today with the Suns, with Kawhi Leonard being out. How much, and I'm not asking dollar amount, but
No, of
maybe,
course not.
Bankroll, unit size, how much are you willing to put down? 3 units, 5 units on something like that?
Yeah, if you're rolled properly, in terms of like, you can't be, no matter how good a spot is, stupid shit happens. You can't up your risk of ruin. But if you are, say you have 100 units in your bankroll, something like that, and you're really properly lined, 3, 5, 7, anything like that, where this is going to lose still a decent majority, not majority of the time, but there are going to be scenarios where they lose this game and it'll be annoying, but I know this is the spot to push it into the center of the table.
They aren't once in a lifetime opportunities.
No,
but they are oftentimes like once a month opportunities, because 3 years ago, you could go on the DraftKings and they were so slow to pull the trigger on these games to take them off the board. Now these sites have adjusted. They're a lot quicker. So when you're getting stuff like this, I think you're right. You're getting objectively good spots that there's no argument. You know it's going to move. You know that the line is set for the player being in and he's out. You have to put you got to get more down on that. Whether it wins or loses, you never look back and go, that we had someone in chalkboard yesterday that was like, yeah, if the LeBron one lost, man, I was going to feel really stupid. It was 25 plus points, I think, at even money. The prop was 27.5, or his line was 27.5. And then on FanDuel, 25 plus points was still plus 175. And I explained, I was like, listen, it's objectively a good bet whether you win or lose. You take that 100 times out of 100. So yeah, it's just the way it goes.
You have to, again, you just have to take advantage of those. There's more than goes into it. You have to know yourself, like, depending on what your bankroll is and the size of your bets, like, there's liquidity issues, but that's a more personal thing. Like, they're not going to let you just dump 50K on the Suns.
Right, of course.
But if you can get down more than a normal bet on a spot is good and you can weather the storm, it's the best spot that would be the best bet that any of us make today, full stop.
Without question, even if it loses, that's the thing.
It could lose by 70.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Irrelevant.
I did that with the Hawks. I got them at 7.5. They moved to 11.5. They lost outright to a Sixers G League team. Doesn't matter. I'd take that every single time. But yeah, it's going to happen. Just don't unload. Don't unload your bankroll. And because they can still 7 points and minus 295 is still a good chance that this game goes in a different direction than you expect it to.
Of course.
25% chance that the Clippers still win this game.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I want to look at some strikeout props today. They've been crushing on OddsShopper lately, and I'm going to get down at least, 6 or 7 strikeout props tonight.
Do you want to put them in the parlay builder? You want to maybe build some of them?
I do. Okay. I absolutely do. Actually, just baseball in general, I think, instead of just parlays, because I see a 7% XROI or 7% EV bet on Alec Boehm. It's plus money, but that's interesting. Ryan Nelson, strikeouts. Let's go to, you pick the book here. What do you want to go with?
Well, you tell me. I mean, where have you been having success on baseball? DraftKings?
Yesterday and recently, FanDuel and DraftKings. FanDuel, a lot of the under strikeouts. Unders. When I say under strikeouts, I literally mean all of the strikeout bets that I've been winning have been under bets.
Yeah, I've been going under on those as well. I mean, we're betting off the same thing, so it's not surprising that we have the same bets.
It looks like there's more plus EV stuff on DraftKings for today for baseball.
All right, let's go DraftKings.
We don't have to go straight baseball though. Let's see if anything pops up. But I do want to look at some MLB ones and see if we can figure something out here. So sort by MLB. You see the parlay builder up on the screen. Again, guys, everything's free for the first week. The parlay builder, if you're on PrizePicks parlay builder, underdog, no house advantage, all the best bets across every single book, everything. all free for the first week. If you hate it, you can bounce it. No cost to yourself. If you love it, stick around. I love it. I absolutely use this tool like a maniac every single day. So you want to I want to see what pops up for MLB. And right now, we can't be going, like, I don't really know if I want to be throwing JD Martinez under a half a home run at minus 500 in there.
No. Again, it may be, you're more of a baseball guy than me. What I like to do with the parlay builder in some of these is, whether it's PrizePicks, I usually get maybe a total bases or a strikeout prop. For some of the days, there's just not that much MLB that appeals to me. The ROIs are not, there's not an abundance of plus EV props sometimes this early in the day. So I usually pick and choose, like that Ryan Nelson one for the Diamondbacks. That's what I'm talking about. Under 4.5 Ks.
Yeah.
I can get on board with that. Interesting. Dodgers and Cubs under 11.5 runs.
Yeah, that is right now the most positive positive EV bet. We changed it to EV now on the new format. So I'm trying to go off of what we're using here, but God. So, I mean, I just assume right now that wind is blowing out at Wrigley.
I mean,
it's got 11.5 runs.
Yeah, it's got, obviously that's what they're factoring in. And the books clearly are, when you have variance like that, the books are disagreeing. And maybe they've overvalued the wind.
It looks like there's a tornado watch at Wrigley in Chicago right now. So that's good.
Maybe they won't even play.
Maybe they won't play. Okay. I want to see the best NBA bets too. I almost want to go with FanDuel and then plug in some of these spots that we already really like the Joel Embiid assists under 4.5. You already like that a lot. I think that's just a great parlay piece at minus 150, 8% XROI. Look, Andrew Wiggins still at 28.5 under minus 106. I think we go FanDuel for the parlay today.
Let's do it.
Okay. Okongwu under 7.5 points plus 102. Zubats to record a double. Wow. Wait a second. Dude, I just realized this. I didn't even know. I knew
you were going to say that. We had chat mention. What about your double doubles, Laffy?
Dude, wait a second. I didn't even know they added double. They said it was in the backlog, like it was getting done. So the new version of OddsShopper's got the double doubles in there. Woohoo!
The devs, man, they're working hard.
Oh my God, that gets me stoked. All right.
You would love that.
Yo, double props can be great.
No, they're good. I actually have bet more of those than I thought I would this year.
It can be great, especially with guys that can do it in a variety of ways. But with Zubats, it's points, rebounds, and I'm okay with that. Could they get, cleaned out today? Sure. I think he's going to see pretty significant minutes, plus 100. DeAndre Ayton hasn't even tried to rebound through the first 2 games of this series. I like that. And then the only one is Kucherov under 1.5 points. I think I'm going to actually bet this one. I really like this parlay a lot today. And these were spots I was already looking at.
Yeah. And even though there's the hockey one that was on my screen, Kucherov under 1.5 points tonight. Love to see it. See, they know. Bolts aren't going to be scoring any goals. So how could he get 2 points? This is some good stuff. I like building this around that. And again, I know we've said it, but man, if you're watching this and you're seeing this, try it for yourself for a week. No risk to you. The link is below. Check out some of these features we're talking about and see these games for yourself in real time. Do you guys like Arizona plus 1.5? Let's see. Let's see a little run line action. If you can find it at minus 125 or even minus 130, I'm okay with it.
What do we have it at?
It's let's see, I can pull that up.
Okay, well. It's a neutral bet right now.
Yeah, it's neutral again. So I'm fine making a kind of judgment call. You certainly want to make sure that you're getting close to as good as minus 125 as you can find. But if you're within range, I think that's fine if you have a lean on them at home against the Padres.
Okay. Man, that parlay looks good though.
Oh yeah.
It's nice when there's spots you actually like already that you're already plugging in, and then the parlay just pops them all up for you. Like, I think FanDuel's the spot right now as far as these XROI spots go. Let's see, 28% XROI, expected win percentage of 5%, which you're getting. Yeah, you have you have even money, a plus 102, a minus 102, and Embiid and Kucherov are the only ones that are actually relatively heavy favorites.
And that's fine, again, because those heavy favorites, you're going to up your X win, your expected win percentage when you put those in. Yeah, your payout will be less.
Like it.
But I like that. It's fun to build like a crazy parlay, but not everything has to be like, oh, we cash this 4% of the time. Like, give me a 12% X win. Give me an 18% X win.
Yeah. In a
I
spot
like
like
cashing
this,
tickets.
Though, in a spot like this, you already have 3 that are close to even money. So this balances it out. Nice. It's 21-1 essentially.
You're just in a good mood because the double doubles are up. Your whole demeanor
should be in a
changed.
good mood. That's an awesome feature.
I'm in a great mood. You know why I'm in a great mood? Because I woke up this morning and I watched the Oilers win that bet, and it set the tone for a great day.
Exactly. What happened if you woke up this morning and they lost? And
it would have been you and Aton on the show today, and I would have called in sick. Okay,
not worth it. It's not worth it. Hey, deeper dive and live before. What's up, Mike? I got it. Deeper dive live before lock coming up 5 o'clock or 5:30 and 6:30 over on the DFS channel. If you haven't done that yet, we got one thing to close it out. It's the community parlay. Who won it? Is it the Sixers? Was it the Sixers? Yeah. All right. Sixers won it at 38% minus 4.5. Honestly, I think we do this on FanDuel today.
Okay, we can do that. Let me get over there before I don't take anything from that game.
If we're doing a parlay and we're doing it on FanDuel that already has some great bets over there, I'll just give you mine now. I'm going to go with the Wiggins under 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's still our third best bet as far as OS bet percentage goes. Give me that all day long. You could throw Embiid in there under 4.5 assists as a minus 152 favorite, but I think I'm going to go Wiggins here at minus 104, considering where we see it at other books, still sitting at 27.5 with the under juiced.
I have no problem with that. Of the bets that we talked about, that was amongst my favorites. I am going to go to the ice. And although I do really like, what'd you say?
You always do.
I always do. Someone's got to represent hockey on this show. We're going the Seattle Kraken, the new team, them and the Colorado Avalanche tonight. I do really like the Avalanche, but you got to get that line on DraftKings. On FanDuel, though, they're the only book that has not moved the total. You can get over 5.5 goals in this game. You are laying some juice at minus 128. Every other book has made the move to 6 goals. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. The Avalanche, they had 35 shots on goal in that first game. The Kraken score like banshees. I'm not worried about them netting a couple. I think Colorado hangs 4 or 5 themselves. So Kraken and Avs over 5.5 goals tonight at minus 128. I really like that spot on FanDuel. I think it's a high-scoring game.
Do you know what a banshee is?
A banshee?
Yeah, you just said it.
Like a wildebeest? Is it an animal?
No, it's like a Irish folklore. It's like a witch, like a wailing. It's like a wailing spirit with this horrible wailing sound. It's a banshee.
What?
Yeah, man. This says my last name on it. Loughran Irish pub somewhere in
What
New
are
York.
you talking about? A wailing? What did you say? A wailing siren?
No, like a wailing woman, like a witch type spirit looking freak in Irish folklore.
Well, I didn't know that, but I will say they score like banshees. That's what can I say? There's only one word to describe it. If you ask ChatGPT, what do the Kraken do? They would say they score like banshees.
I've heard banshees have a real knack for putting the biscuit in the twine. I got you.
They light the lamp, my friend. That's just what they do.
We'll see you guys back here soon. Plus 567 on that parlay. Let's make it happen. We got the Sixers, we got Wiggins, and we got the score like Banshee Kraken for today's parlay. We'll see you back here tomorrow to close out the week, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed today's show. Hopefully you're as excited as I am for these new features coming to OddsShopper. Remember, first week free in the link in the description and the chat. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the OddsShop.
Angela.